The haka always speaks for itself. We have New Zealand versus Netherlands. It's the rematch. The Netherlands defeated New Zealand in the group stages, and that was the nail in the coffin for New Zealand actually making it to the Paralympics. But here they are playing for pride. They are playing for 5th place, and they are trying to get some ranking points there and make sure they actually give something back to their fans here, who will have been disappointed about the fact that they're not going to be going to Paris. We have a Dutch squad that has some strength in depth as we have a look at it. I'm Drew Lilly. Alongside me, I have Grant Sharman.
Pleasure to be here, Drew. I wonder if that's a sign, the haka, they went back to the original Kamati haka, not the one done for wheelchair rugby. Is it a sign that they're going back to the basics, and they intend to do the basics well? This could be a harbinger.
Let's certainly hope so, as we take a quick look at the squad there, but we will analyse the squad in a little bit more depth there as we hear the Dutch doing their own equivalent of a haka. You can see their coach in the middle there, the man with the glasses on, Martin van Hinter. And I spoke to him around half an hour ago to gauge the spirit in the camp. Martin, you beat this team 4 days ago. Are you just going to go out and do the same again?
We will try to do it, yes, of course. But we know New Zealand's a little bit stronger at this moment. For us, it's a long trip, so I hope we can do the same, yes.
How are the team feeling? As you say, a long trip, and it's 5 matches in 5 days. Are they tired, or are they ready for one last big push?
I think they are mentally tired, yes. It's the first time we leave from Holland in 2 weeks. Normally we are on a trip for 1 week. So this is a long trip, yes. Mentally they are tired, I think.
But they're feeling good and ready for one last match?
Yes, I think so, of course. We want have the 5th place, and the 5th place is 2 places lost from the Olympics. So it's you can say it's a 10th place in the world, and for us it's amazing. Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
And here is what one of his opposite numbers, Greg Mitchell of the New Zealand Wheel Blacks backroom staff, had to say. Greg, these guys beat you on Wednesday. It's only 4 days ago. What's changed, and how are you going to change it today?
We've had a few changes, partly classification, with Marshall Amaya coming down a half a point. Makes a huge bonus getting Cody Everson out there. The extra speed is going to be a big change. Didn't respect their pick bars enough, so we've got to make sure the low pointers are contained from them this time. We've got a number of plans that are in different options, so there's option A, B, C there, so we want to make sure that we rattle through them if the first one's not working. So we've got lots of things. We've looked at a lot of video, we've watched them against other teams, so we know what we have to do. Confident we can do it.
And the team's feeling good about themselves?
As good as you can. Always disappointed to finish. We came here with a point of qualifying. That was our target. We missed that. After that, it's finish as high as you can. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Team's looking forward to it. They want to get back in there, get revenge for the other day.
The nation's behind you. Good luck.
Awesome. Thank you.
So we are about to get underway. The starting lineup for the Dutch will be Davy van der Dop, 3-pointer, followed by Job van der Laan, Ben Bazoun and Hector Loma, that man there, 1.5 pointer. What a great 1.5 pointer he is. And for New Zealand, well, it's the lineup that has been mentioned by both coaches there. The fact that they can now run Maya Marshall Amai as she's a 2-pointer, so she has been classified down from 2.5, and that gives them more options.
Great start there. Baden Coots won the toss to Everson. Back there to Leslie, 1 point on the good positive start. Let's see how they transition.
Loma immediately into the action to Van den Dop. Swarming defence. Bazoun trying to get a pick on Leslie. They need to get the ball over the halfway line within 12 seconds. It bounces off Loma.
Well, that's
an immediate turnover.
Look, that's a great start. I mean, this New Zealand team, this Wheel Black team, they look energised, they look hungry, they look ready for it. Now they need to maintain composure, score the try, set up the defence again. One job at a time.
Well, we heard from Martin van Hinter, the Dutch coach, saying that his players are mentally tired. You thought he was bluffing there, but maybe it is the case.
I don't think so. They've just caused a turnover, I think. Oh, no, yeah. The Dutch player, number 7, is in the bin, so he was pushed over the edge. You can't do that while the ball's in play.
So Bazoun was pushed out of bounds, so it's 4 on 3. 8 points on 7 points, or should I say, actually 8.5 on 7. Maya Amai there. She, as a female player, allows you to play an extra 0.5. And the fact that she's been classified down, it's as if she's an extra 0.75 or 1 point.
Well, the big difference is it allows them to play a 1 instead of a 0.5. And while there's some very solid 0.5s, and Gavin's certainly one of them, the difference in speed and picking and inbounding that a 1 point brings, that could be a critical difference.
So it means that they can play Cody Everson on this line, which is certainly going to help them. Everson there with the inbound to Amai. HBC at the back needs to get the ball over the halfway line, either under his own steam or with the help of Cameron Leslie.
What I like there was the composure. They didn't hurry it. They were swarmed. Good Dutch defense, but they held their composure. HBC waited for Leslie to come free and passed it through.
So you have 12 seconds to get the ball over the halfway line, and you have to bounce it or offload it every 10. But you quite often see teams getting into a bit of a panic and throwing out long passes after 6 or 7 seconds. But that was good patience shown by the Wheel Blacks.
So we need the Wheel Blacks to start to fall back now. Interesting enough, the difference from game 1, this is a rematch. This is redemption for the Kiwis, hopefully. The New Zealanders seem more intense than the Dutch do at this stage.
Big pass fired out over the top, and Maya picks it up. You have to be in possession of the ball before your front wheels go over the line, and that's exactly what she did.
We talk about a lot of high pointers a lot of the time. We see the goal scored there. But young Hector Loma, he's a 1.5 player, and I'm sorry, I think he plays like a 2. He's got the ball skills, he's got the nous, he gets around, and in rugby terms, from a coach's perspective, he's a pain in the ass. He's really good at what he does.
Certainly is. He looks alongside Hayden Barton-Coots there. There's a real height disparity.
It's interesting, so the inbound should be there every time to Barton-Coots' height, and Cody does have a lovely inbound. And then it's up to Hayden just to be patient, because our 2 highs are being looked after, but Cody will come back on, and if the Dutch players down low can't hold Hayden, then he can follow Cody up. Let's see what he does.
So Loma there doesn't have the same reach as Barton-Coots, as we were saying, but back he comes. Nicely corralled by Maya Amai. She hasn't got a lot of room to get that out.
Well, because of Maya's hand function, having the ball with her is a higher risk. So she's very keen to offload it to a better set of hands.
That's what she did to HBC, and then it's Cameron Leslie, 3-time Paralympic gold medalist, but not in this sport, in the 150-metre medley swimming.
And look, a big plug for Cam. He really is the epitome of what it means to be a Paralympic athlete. And he's an incredible dad too, just for good measure. So here we go to set up. The 1 point will come back down. While it's working, I'd like to see them switch it up a little bit too. Don't become too predictable, because the defence will adapt. So the point there, we needed Maya to go to a sideline. We were lucky, we got away with it, to go to a sideline to be able to run on the ball rather than take it from the back of her head.
Well, that ended up being a huge recovery for the Wheel Blacks. It was a turnover there. It was going away, but Bazoun didn't have the speed to get there. Maya Amai couldn't corral the ball initially, but spun round, didn't give up on the play.
We need to be mindful of the arrow. People who have been watching really will know the importance. So the arrow is going with the Netherlands. So if they score last, then get the arrow and inbound the ball, that should be a two-try turnover. Kiwis will be looking for a held ball.
There's the arrow there, pointing in the direction of the team, the attacking direction of the team, which will get the next contested play. So either when there's a held ball, which doesn't happen that often, or at the start of the next quarter.
And if people are wondering how they determine who goes which direction, it's not a toss of the coin. You always play away from your home, from your bench in the first half, and you come home in the second half. Interesting in the key attack there. So clearly they want Leslie to carry the ball. Barton Coots handed over. He will now post up in the key. Big hand up. He'll look for it, but wasn't needed. Cody Everson, great work by the low pointer.
Everson, the one-pointer, reverses over the line. New Zealand 2 points clear at the moment. You can see referee Tasmin Hayes counting down, letting the players know whether they've got near to the 12 seconds they need or they're allowed to take to get the ball over the line. Bazoun managed to catch that one well for a one-pointer.
Yes, great work there. Hayden was bearing down like a freight train, which can be a bit unnerving, but he held his nerve, took the ball.
Kim Yun-ho of Korea is the other referee there, who is keeping pace with Hayden Barton-Coots. There's a water bottle that has ended up out of the sin bin and on the court, but play allowed to continue. Referee Kim disposes of it.
And as we mentioned the referees, we must acknowledge the work they do. The sport's played in real time. There's no TMO, there's no replay, and it's fast, it's quick, it's powerful. They need to make split-second decisions. So we're very blessed to have a good crop of international referees. Change the receiver. Leslie's got it. He's really manoeuvrable. He can fit through little gaps. How that wasn't held, I'm not sure, but still.
Manages to get it over the halfway line within the 12 seconds. Again, they're showing patience. It's so many times you see teams after 6 or 7 seconds desperate to punt the ball forward.
And as a high point receiver, sometimes the best way to go over the half is to go backwards. Turn away, because often defenders will take off and the court will open up in front of you. Great push by Barton Coots there. Forced them. Now they need to fall back in the key. Start to defend, make every try hard work. Oh, good cover by Amai. She's come right across there and sealed that off. Look for the timeout. There it is.
Loma was stuck in the key. You can see the big grin on his face. So the key is that painted area down there. You can only have 3 defenders in the key at any one time, and attackers can only stay in there for a maximum of 10 seconds. And you can see Loma's stuck in there. He knew he wasn't going to be able to get in or out. So the call of timeout actually was from one of his teammates. A teammate can make the call, and it was Van den Dop that did it. So you can see on the scoreboard 7-9 and then 3-2 as opposed to 4-2. The 3 means that Netherlands are down to 3 floor timeouts.
And as a floor timeout, the Kiwis would consider that a turnover, because once they're all gone, any mistakes are punished. So they'll be very pleased to get that. If you can get 2 or 3 in the first quarter, you're doing extraordinarily well.
So when you take a timeout, the main thing is you want to convert it into a score. That's what the Dutch want to do. Bazoun just about manages it.
That was great, real pressure defense there.
The Dutch one-pointer is showing some very good hands for a man lacking in function.
Well, not only that, his disability with cerebral palsy, often it's very difficult then for muscle control, and under pressure, superb job. Oh, I would like the passes to just gently fall in the lap. Not good for my heart.
Spoken like a true coach. Grant Sharman, who got a bronze medal as a player and a gold medal as a coach at the Paralympics. And a reminder that this is a Paralympic qualification tournament, and we have allotted all 3 spots. Germany defeating Brazil, and what a victory it was, 62-50 in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. And it's the top 3 teams that go through. So Germany are that 3rd team, joining the finalists, Australia and Canada, who will be taking part in the gold medal match in about an hour's time.
So tit for tat there. Kiwis a bit too bunched. The Dutch swarmed them, couldn't find an outlet, forced them to take one of their bench time, their floor timeouts. So again, Holland, they'll be pleased with that. They've gone and set up the score clock. The shot clock still winds down. I think it's on 29 seconds if my eyesight's any good, which it's not. And so we'll see. So that means they've got 29 seconds to get it over and attack the key. Now, something for you to think about at home. When teams attack and defend the key, it looks like chaos, but there's a lot of structure that goes into it. Often you'll assign a role to a particular player, whether they're a receiver in the key, whether they're sealing an end, whether they're holding someone out. There's different ways to do it, and it's drilled, and it's drilled, and it's drilled, and then it's drilled against them again. And the same with defending the key.
The second advantage of the 30-second timeout is that you can discuss the play that you are going to do, either on attack or defence. So that's what the Wheel Blacks will have done.
That was an excellent pass by Leslie. He didn't panic. He went round. Coots had set himself up. Coots had set himself up. Received the ball nicely. Wheeled over. Goal. Try scored.
So if you convert your floor timeouts into a try, you've done the right thing and made good use of them.
And that's exactly what I said about Loma. Brilliant work. He went wide. He didn't panic. He had both Leslie and Barton Coots all over him, able to get the offload away. That's outstanding work from the 1-5.
The Dutch playing in their orange. They actually warmed up in their dark blue singlets and have changed since then. Don't know if that's to bring them luck.
There is a difference. So you are allocated your colour depending on whether you're home or away. And just because this is New Zealand, they may be deemed to be the away team, which is why they're probably wearing their light grey strip as opposed to the black strip of the Wheel Blacks.
I did say this morning when I heard it was going to be dark blue against grey and black that anyone watching in black and white would struggle, but you can see the bright orange of the Oranje, the Dutch, as Joop van der Laan, the mid-pointer, goes over. They're just 1 point behind. We're into the last minute or so. So this is where timestamps are going to be important. Ideally, they'd score on 55 seconds, and that's not quite going to be the case. The main thing is to score, not give the ball away. I was talking about timestamps. The main thing that counts is the scoreboard.
And Amai did everything right. She went to the side, she ran on. These passes need to be way more accurate. They practice this in their warm-up for this particular reason.
The Dutch struggling to get the ball out. They give it to Van den Dop, though. If anyone can get it out, he can. And that one's going to go loose. So, 2 turnovers in a row, and the Wheel Blacks get out of jail a little bit there.
So the big word for today is serendipity, that they were able to get a turnover, to fix a mistake. Turnover. The Dutch coach won't be a happy bunny about this. You don't want to get the turnover and then give it back and under the 40 seconds. So what New Zealand needs to do, progress the ball up court. Job number 1, get it over half. Job number 2 is patience, and then score the try.
The most important part of all that being score the try. So that's, and it gets loose again. They need to get over the halfway line.
Now, that is not a spin. That is a good hit, as our friend Gilles would say. He was hit from the front. He came up. That should be a turnover, depending on what the referees call, but it should be a turnover.
Depending on whether Cody Everson managed to call for a timeout.
Exactly. And that's tremendous presence of mind. When you're in the air, heading for the ground, to have the presence of mind to go, timeout, and they did. There they go. So it should not have gone to the one, to be honest. They need to just go back, be patient, follow their process. I'd like to see them spread out a bit more. I think they're still a little bit too bunched. But look, it's the first quarter. They're up by one. They don't have the arrow. So a jump ball would certainly be helpful.
Referee Tasmin Haynes was right there, so would have heard Cody Everson's call of timeout.
And I think a lot of the referees, they're around this game all the time. They're probably expecting it.
They're
so
looking
they're
for it,
listening
exactly. For it. Bunted forwards.
Right. Now they need to set up. They'll have drilled this. Myers coming to the far side. She's looking to seal this.
You can hear the bench counting down to let the wheelbacks know how long to go. In the nick of time, 0.7 seconds.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, Drew. Let's say they drilled for this and they executed. Great job. And that nullifies the arrow and the inbounding ball.
At the end of a breathless first quarter, New Zealand lead it by 2 points, 13-11.
Well, we were in for a game. We are in for a real match. There's 2 points between it, between the two sides. That is nothing in a game like that. That's one turnover, and it could be 13 all. So the Dutch have the arrow. They won't be panicking. But I just feel that the New Zealand inbound needs to be changed a little bit. I really feel that with any team, if you do the same thing over again, a smart defence, and the Dutch are a very smart team, they'll defend it so much better. But if every 3 inbounds you change it up, at least for 1 or 2 inbounds, there's a bit of chaos there. Where do I take? Who do I do? So it's about being mentally fresh, change again.
New Zealand, though, with the 2-point advantage, as you're saying, Grant, with the Netherlands having the possession arrow. So if they score with their first possession and then get a turnover, all of a sudden it's a tie game. But I'd rather be 13-11 up than 13-11 down. The only slight difference otherwise is that New Zealand have used 2 of their floor timeouts, Netherlands just 1. So there really is very little to choose between these two teams, as befits the fact that they are playing off for 5th and 6th place, and also the fact that they met a mere 4 days ago.
And look, it's not often you get a chance of redemption in a tournament. The Dutch want to prove it's not a fluke, and the All Blacks want to prove that they're better than that and execute. We also need to remember, we talk about rugby and other sports, it's an 80-minute game, and this is a 32-minute game. So do the full 32 minutes.
Decent crowd here at the New Zealand campus of innovation and sport, and a very impressive set of facilities it is. Only opened up very recently, just last year.
So the big congratulations to the organisers, the volunteers, put a lot of work into this. Thank you very much on behalf of all players.
We've had some good crowds coming here just outside Wellington to Upper Hutt, and obviously some good crowds all around the world watching on various streams and various channels. So thank you for following us, and we very much appreciate your support. Counting down to the start of the second period. Tasmin Haynes is going to get us underway. It's actually her counterpart, Kim Yun Ho. They take to Loma with the ball in his lap, gives it to Davy van den Dop. So the Dutch with the arrow. You can see the arrow has just been swapped round on the table, top left of your screen. So that means the next contested possession, or the start of the next quarter, possession will go to the Wheel Blacks. So the Dutch get it back to just a one-score game. Turnovers at any stage here are going to be huge.
We see there the way that Barton Coots was able to thrust his hips forward. He is a trunk player, and trunk makes he was able to just literally smash him away.
Different types of players and different types of bodies out here. We were talking about the number 7 for the Dutch, Ben Bazoun, who has cerebral palsy, and then you get someone like Hayden Barton Coots, who is a totally different physical specimen.
Great defensive pressure. Don't reach, Cam. Keep that ball out of there. Just let them call the timeout. Let them call it. Clock's winding down.
Bouncing the ball, as you have to do every 10 seconds. You see the shot clock down to 9, 8.
Oh, well done, the Dutch. They didn't panic. They stuck to their process. Terrific defence by the New Zealanders, but the Dutch were just able to get over.
Made to work for it. Again, into the hands of Cody Everson, which is not ideal, but if there's any one pointer you want to give it to, then it's probably Everson.
I think what we need to see more of there is Barton Coots following his low point up and not getting a gap, because Everson will run a certain line and he'll be a moving blocker, and the high pointers need to follow them up for the gaps.
Much easier try this time around.
So out off camera, Everson was trapped in the penalty, not the penalty, in the key. If New Zealand had inbound, he'd stayed in there, then he could have been in for a 10-second violation. So he called inbound, which he is anyway, to get out of that issue.
Yes, if you're stuck somewhere, trapped in the key by one of your opponents, or trying to get out of the sin bin and your opponents are sitting right in front of the bin, which they're allowed to do, then the one way of getting out is by raising your hand and saying, I want to be the inbounder. That, of course, means you do have to inbound. You can't change your mind once you're out. Rules are rules.
And we see nice work there. Barton Coots went in, he posted up, Leslie got the shot into him, try scored. Just classic key attack.
Not a turnover there. Cam Leslie got his hand to that one and punched it out of play, so the Dutch will get the ball back. But since it was knocked out of play, it's a corner inbound, which is a little bit more difficult.
Well, notice that Everson's parked up there, used the baseline and sideline to keep the 1-5, so a point mismatch, and able to the other 3 players to put maximum pressure on.
Everson's taking Loma out of the equation. Loma's still stuck off screen. So it's currently 7 points plays 6 points, and it's a steal, a turnover, as you can hear from the crowd.
Now don't give it away. Great work. So they've opened up a 3-point margin with the arrow. So potentially that could be a 5-point margin come the end of the quarter. Let's see what they do.
Yes, every team wants to score last in a quarter and first in a quarter, and that can make the difference.
Here comes the pressure. Let's see what the Dutch give. So I think what we saw there was potentially 4 in the key.
Interested to see how Cody Everson could possibly have got into the key. There didn't seem to be enough room, but he's the one who's being called off.
It just needs a wheel in, and a lot of attacking players will watch, and if they see someone near the edge, they'll give them a little helping hand over the key edge of the key to make that 4 in the key. No real damage to New Zealand because Cody's doing the inbounding.
It's only 1 point that is off as well. If you're 3.5 pointers off, then that can potentially have you hamstrung.
But again, I would expect teams to practice that, so they're aware of that.
Loma and Bazoun come up, and Everson makes sure that Barton Coots can get over the halfway line. It's looking good here from the Wheelbacks.
Yeah, look, they're composed. They got a little bit of wobbles there at one stage, but they've composed back. They're keying up. They're letting the Dutch come to them. I'm not sure if we're going to see much of a lineup change from New Zealand, so they're not going to expend all their energy. And they're going to back their key defence to get turnovers.
Loma had the ball there, couldn't get over the line, so that was great defence from Cameron Leslie. Loma forced the throw a pass out, and it's gone astray again. It's another turnover.
And we have a change for Holland's changing their low pointers.
So Bazoun will be the one going off, and on comes Hugo van Iersel.
Difficult way to get out of your quarter, your half I should say, because you're trapped in the quarter. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's just idiot play. I mean, why would you do that? You're a high pointer. Now you're in the bin. The Kiwis are going to get out of a very difficult area of the court to progress up court, and they're going to get it over easy. And then they're probably going to double number 8, force that person inbound, double, single. So when I talk about double and singles, I'm talking about the number of players on a player. If you've got a player inbounding, then obviously the offense only has 3 players on court. You've got 4. So you try and take the danger player out, get the ball forced to the weaker hands, then try and swarm them.
And it depends who is doing the inbounding. So if they manage to trap Van der Laan, who is there to the left of your screen, stuck in the sin bin, he's worth 2.5 points. So if they trap him, how about that for the Dutch? So 3 on 4, and they get a turnover. Now, can they score with just 5.5 points on the court? Van den Dop going this way and that. 17 on the shot clock, as you can see to the right of your screen. Keep an eye on that one.
So the New Zealand player went over this baseline, try scored. The Dutch still have a player in the bin, but they've managed to score a try.
I wouldn't have the wheels to outpace Van den Dop now. Wheelbacks setting up to make sure they can, they're trying to trap Van der Laan. That didn't work, so that was a power play there for the Wheelblacks, and they seem to get it not all wrong, but it didn't go well at all.
No, and I wonder if there's a bit of tiredness there, and perhaps some more communication in terms of, did Leslie need to throw that past Amaya, or could she have blocked for him?
An immediate turnover back.
So that shot clock resets for New Zealand, 40 seconds. No need to panic, no need to do some, just roll it over, take the turnover.
And we're back to where we should have been. So it should have been this 4-point margin. It's back to what New Zealand would have budgeted for. Van den Dop manages to get his way out of trouble. Tiredness could be creeping in. We haven't seen a change in the lineup as far as New Zealand is concerned, and we only have 3 minutes left of the first half, so an option could be coaches' timeouts at some point. They last for a minute, and that could give the players a breather.
Well, they do have 10 minutes at
There is a big 10-minute break coming up, but that's another giveaway there. Cody Everson handing the ball over.
And I think the Dutch have called a timeout. Oh, no, it's a reach. So Leslie, number 1, he's in the bin. That'll be frustration and annoyance. He should never have done that. He'll know that.
So the Dutch are going to be looking to get the last score of this first half. The deficit's now down to 2. If they can keep it at 2, then they won't be too displeased with that. It could have been a lot more. Leslie's had a little bit of a break in the sin bin. This is getting...
It's almost like they've lost their structure a little bit. In the end, they scored nicely, but I'm sensing a little bit of structure that's maybe going... Not as structured when that first quarter. They were very, very process-driven.
I think they're looking at it now and thinking, with 3 points up, even if the Dutch get the last score, if we can get into half-time 2 points up and just have a breather for 10 minutes and compose ourselves, get our breath back, then they'll probably take that. Reaching foul drawn there. It's the kind of foul you can draw from the opposition. You can offer them an arm and say, come on, come in and reach and touch that. And Cameron Leslie took the bait there.
So they're going to lock him in there and force him to inbound. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because they'll need at least 2 players to stop him from the inbound. So it should be a 3-on-2. I only got away. So great work by Cameron.
Very agile. You can see the difference in chairs. Those of you who don't watch a whole lot of wheelchair rugby, you can see the low point chairs with a big pick bar that comes out the front, and then the likes of Cameron Leslie's here, it's far more flexible. You can get in and out and get around your opponents.
So the New Zealanders will look to wind it down till about that 55-second mark, score, force the Dutch to wind it as much as possible, and it'll set them up for their last score. You can hear the New Zealand bench yelling out the seconds.
8 seconds to go.
Great into play.
Very good give and go, and it's 1 minute and 2. I think they'll be quite happy with that. So if the Dutch take the full 40 seconds that you can see there on the shot clock behind Van Eersel, then even that will leave 22 seconds for New Zealand to run down the clock and ideally score.
The New Zealanders put their hands up there. They thought that was an over and back, so when you're progressing from the back court to the front court, you cannot change direction and come back. The second you look as though you're going to come back, the referees will call over and back, and it'll be loss of possession.
Yes, you can't change your direction or have your direction changed for you. You'll get your opponents trying to knock you back over the halfway line. So the Dutch make it a 2-score game with just under 30 seconds to go. So what the Wheel Blacks are going to try to do now is take all of those 27.9 seconds and score. It's exactly what we saw at the end of the first quarter with Hayden Barton-Coots scoring with about 0.7 seconds to go. Needs to get it over the halfway line. Does so.
There's still plenty of time. Don't panic. Don't panic.
I don't think she heard you. Don't panic, you said about 3 times, and I think there are at least 6 or 7 players panicking there.
And there's no need for this. You know, each player needs to have a clock ticking away in their head. The time to the end of the quarter, the time with the ball in possession, the time to score. And a lot of people will be instinctive.
Hail Mary, is it caught? It isn't. It is batted away by Hayden Barton-Coots, and New Zealand maintain that 2-point lead. Going into the big break, the Wheel Blacks lead the Dutch 22-20. Back for the second half here at the New Zealand Campus of Innovation and Sport just outside Wellington. It's the 5th and 6th place playoff between New Zealand and the Netherlands. New Zealand with a 2-point advantage going into the second half, into the third quarter, and they have the inbound.
They also have a player in the sin bin, so that's very unfortunate.
So Maya Armai in the sin bin for what happened at the end of the second quarter. So that means an immediate turnover. Out she comes since the opposition have scored, but all of a sudden it is a 1-point game. It's a 1-point game, and the possession arrow is now in favour of the Dutch, so they will get possession unless there's a held ball at the start of the fourth quarter. New Zealand really need to make sure that all of their possessions end up being scores.
Very risky play. It came off, but it's high risk. New Zealand's back out to a 2-point margin.
Next turnover is going to be a huge one, depending on which way it goes.
So let's see if the New Zealanders can use their key attack to get a turnover.
The Dutch sticking with the lineup that they ended the second half with, and it's more or less the lineup they started with. The only difference is it's Van Eersel out there instead of Bazoun, number 9, but you have number 8, Van der Laan, 42, Loma, and then Van den Dop, the high pointer, number 14 there. And the Wheel Blacks running out the same 4 who've been out there for all 8, 16, 17 minutes so far.
I'd like to see them, they appear to be playing a little bit individualistic at this stage. I think if they just play more as a unit in terms of progressing the ball up the court, and on defence, we need a lot of communication. Who's got this, who's got that? We need those energy levels to come back up.
Barely a minute into this third quarter or second half, but the Dutch scoring quite easily at the moment.
So New Zealand, they've got plenty of time on the shot clock. They need to just pull out, reset, everyone go to their position, attack the key.
Shot clock now down to 12. You'll see it appear on your screen there.
So much better. Pulled out, reset, easy try.
Very easy try for the Dutch there.
So the ref has called. Oh, just indicating that Everson will be the inbounder.
Van den Dop coming up to meet him, then immediately going all the way back.
So Leslie's got to really work hard to get around this now. He's got the pace though.
Can't go over the line forwards, so he decides to do it backwards.
I'd like to see Hayden in particular use his one more as a screen, progressing the ball up. Don't leave him too much because that's a mobile island. Here we go. This could be interesting. 10 seconds.
Van den Dop will just get there.
Oh, look, terrific play, but very high risk.
It was a batted inbound from Van Eersel. No backspin on it, obviously, and it worked because Van den Dop is a very quick three-pointer. Now the Dutch setting up in the key.
So the Dutch will back their key defence. The Kiwis need to go back to their routine. Simara one end, Everson the other. Barton Coots is going to post up nice and high. Sometimes this just looks so easy when everyone does their role. Great key attack, well done New Zealand. Now we need quick transition. So you've scored the goal, big deal. Now get on defence. What is the plan? Equipment timeout, so yes, no. No, they called a coach's timeout. I think I must have slept through that one.
New Zealand down to just one timeout, so it was a floor timeout. And now is Martin van Hinter. I thought he was calling a coach's timeout, but no.
The shot clock's on 19, I think. 19 seconds. Still a ton of time.
So New Zealand down to just the one timeout. They need to score from this possession.
Yes, but they don't need to panic. It's a lot of time. Again, everyone just do your job. Great transition. Classic there. I knew that she couldn't help Leslie, so she got herself in space, provide an outlet. Now, we just simply have to transition faster. We can't let the two highs, shut them down, force them back.
Van der Laan, 2.5 pointer, showing good wheels.
One of the aspects of this sport that's absolutely critical is the ability to communicate. It sounds so obvious, but the more you talk on court, the more it gives you energy and the more it mucks up the opposition. Okay, where's the communication? Who's got this person? Who's got that person? Who's the danger? Who's the threat? Nice work, nice work. Nice. Oh, let's...
Loma versus Everson, 1.5 versus 1. Loma was always going to win.
And I think that's the vision. He looked over, he knew his high pointers were not going anywhere, so he said, right, I'm going long, and they knew he'd be going long.
Well, a steal there. It was difficult to see, hidden away from the cameras, but it's 28 all. Things not going the way of the Wheel Blacks in this third quarter.
Well, we always knew that this Dutch team were well drilled and well prepared.
Leslie stuck there. Manages to get out.
Again, there's plenty of time. Just everyone take their role, do what they need to do. Leslie's got the ball, so he's the designated ball carrier. We'll seal the edges. And that is great vision.
A mind being a good outlet.
Barden Coots was the target. He wasn't going to go anywhere. Went over to mine. Now, I think if the Kiwis called a coach's timeout, I think they have. So when you're watching this in this dead ball time, the Dutch need to give the New Zealanders from halfway to halfway down the centre of the court is their space. But they will be lurking around like sharks, circling, looking to try and trap the New Zealanders down low. Well, probably not, because they're inbounding.
It's a 1 minute breather. You can see that everyone's having their input.
When these timeouts happen, coaches try and communicate. Most of the time, all the athletes hear is blah, blah, blah. So as a coach, you need to be just one message, otherwise they hear nothing.
Gavin Rolton was the one who was allowed to do the talking there. Player and player coach, as he has been off and on for the past couple of years.
Well done, New Zealand has come back. 4 on the key. So in that sort of play, when everyone's looking to defend, we need the players that can see everything to call it out. Everson, McCody, stay out, don't come in. You've got to practice this. It's just, they're tired, you know, they're in a war out there, and then you throw communication in. It's not easy.
So it wasn't a penalty try because the Dutch weren't guaranteed to score from it.
What we don't want, though, is a penalty try now, because then Everson will stay off and serve the full minute. So we've got to be smart about this. Don't go near the baseline. Hayden, it's just not worth it. Don't spin him. Well done.
29 apiece, halfway through this third quarter.
First change in tactics. Now, The 2-pointer's gone to inbound. Much longer inbound.
Coots with that great wingspan.
So I'd like to see the New Zealanders carry on by changing it up, because the Dutch will, well, who's inbounding? How's that going? Mai's got a much longer inbound, and she has the equipment. Just on these chairs, they're $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 for a chair plus. They're not cheap, and look at the way they treat them, eh?
Just over 3 minutes to go in this third quarter as they try to push Leslie out.
This is good defense. Good, don't reach, great pressure. They've got the timeout. That is tremendous pressure.
And you think, well, why didn't Van Eersel go over the line? But he couldn't. He was blocked in by the excellently positioned chairs of Leslie and Barton Coots.
And he didn't have the function to be able to pass it to someone else. And this is what we talk about. Put the ball in the weakest hands, because at some point it's turnover city. But that's okay. The Dutch won't be panicking. They've got 2 more floor timeouts and 2 coaches timeout. You know, it's a good use of it. It's what it's for. It's a get out of jail card.
Good use of it, but New Zealand will be delighted that they've made the Dutch burn one of those timeouts.
Absolutely.
Shot clock resets to 25.
And we'll see this. This is where rugby really looks like chess. The pieces being moved around. The players have different qualities in terms of their function. It really is chess. He's looking to offload it. Oh, great work. But don't panic. Don't panic. You've got 12 seconds.
A turnover for New Zealand, and they're going to convert it. Huge. And that came on a Dutch timeout as well, so that's almost a double whammy. They burnt a timeout and didn't score from it.
That's a twofer. That's a twofer. It gives them confidence with their defence, sows a little seed of doubt in the Dutch in terms of their key attack. Most times the key attack will work, but you only need it to fail 2 or 3 times. Lovely long inbound.
Yes, it's Armai who's been going for the inbounds now, rather than Everson.
And here we see the difference. Armai's gone straight up court, lovely inbound, gone sailing up court. The other highs have worked it through and then sent it forward. The Dutch now had to reassess. They're going to need to put a player on Armai and not let her go up, otherwise she'll do this all day. Getting into clock management time now, under 2 minutes.
When it was level pegging, then whoever scored last, it was going to be absolutely crucial. Even so, it's just a 1-point game.
Yep.
So both teams are going to be desperate to get the final score of the quarter.
So the Dutch have adapted. They've sent a high pointer up, but that leaves Barton Coots open, and he's just going to sail over the line. Thank you very much. So great to see. They've changed their tactics. They've sowed doubt in the minds of the Dutch. I'd like to see them change up again at some point. Keep that rotation going. Keep changing.
Up come the Dutch with just over 90 seconds to go.
Now, very, very soft there. Just corner man did his job. Beautiful inbound, long. Now use your blockers. Come up, follow them up, get it over. And now we can just settle down, set up, protect the key, everyone go to their position. The Dutch still haven't fallen back. They will now, though. And there's reasons. Leslie's got quite good hands, good ability to turn. Barton Coots has got that incredible height.
Just over, or just under now, a minute to go. That's pretty good timing. 55 is usually the ideal time stamp on which to score.
Equipment time.
Away we go. And as soon as it's touched, then the clock starts up again.
Good pressure. But that's okay, force them over, great. 49 seconds. Well done by the Dutch, they scored. But then we need to score quick. Let's try and score in 9 seconds.
The Dutch are happy with that, because even if the New Zealanders take the full 40 seconds, they will have 9.6 seconds in which to score themselves and get the last score. So Barton Coots, what's he going to do here?
So they may try to score with 9 seconds on the clock and ask the Dutch the question, can you score in 9 seconds? Do you have the firepower?
The main thing that New Zealand need to do here is score. Clock management is good, but the scoreboard is what counts at the end of the day.
Oh, it's critical.
Are they going to take the timeout? They are indeed. So at 14.6, Hayden Barton Coots takes the last floor timeout. And that means that they can guarantee they're having the last possession here, but they really need to score from it.
And great awareness there of the rules and of the strategy there. Now the New Zealanders, they would have trained over and over again, probably with 14 seconds, not 15 seconds, to give them a second or two up their sleeve. They'll go straight to their positions. They know what their role is, and then they'll score that try. The Dutch, of course, they're thinking, absolutely not.
They'll have practiced this. They'll have practiced defending for 15, 14, 13 seconds.
Absolutely.
Away we go. 14 seconds to get the final score. You'll hear the countdown from the crowd and the entourage. You don't want it into the hands of Everson. And they don't get the score. New Zealand managed to maintain their lead, but it's the slimmest of margins. 34-33 going into the final break.
Well, disappointing.
It is when you've taken the time out to do it.
Yes, exactly. But look, they've still got that 1 point advantage. Yes, the Dutch are going to score. So the mindset needs to be now, we will get the turnover and score and rebalance that. There is 8 seconds to go, effectively. So focus on that. Forget what's gone before. You're playing an 8 minute game. Getting a little bit worked up here. An 8 minute game.
It might come down to an 8 second game. They might be level with 8 seconds to go.
It may well be.
And one side's got possession.
And we need to let people know. So you don't have a draw in wheelchair rugby. If the scores are level, they'll have, I think it's 3 minutes of extra time. It'll go on the arrow. No, it'll be a jump ball to start with. So it's almost like a mini game, 3 minutes long. And then if they don't, then they'll do another 3 minutes. I have been involved in a triple overtime a couple of times. And you are drained at the end of that.
Mentally, physically, mentally, more than anything.
One as an athlete, one as a coach. Yeah, not a lot of fun.
So we need the hat trick. You've done one as an athlete, one as a coach. Today is one as a commentator. There we go.
That is the goal. So everyone should have a goal in the game. That's our goal in the commentary team. Come on, let's see these teams come to the party. But in all seriousness, the New Zealanders now need to refocus, reframe it, forget that quarter, forget that they didn't score it, and know that they can take these Dutch players if they execute and follow process. Conversely, the Dutch aren't going to be too worried about that. They've got some confidence here. They'll believe that they can score this goal, level it up, and then get a turnover.
Seconds of the break remain. 8 minutes of the match remain. There's a 1 point difference. The Dutch get possession. They can level it up on this first possession. They have 2 floor timeouts as well. But New Zealand have their noses in front. This 5th and 6th place playoff could go either way.
We always knew it would be a close, exciting game. It's lived up to the hype.
No changes in lineups. The two teams are going to live and die by these 8 players. We've only had one change so far. Van Iersel, the number 9 there for the Dutch, came on for Bazoun, and that's it.
The Kiwis have certainly changed their tactics in terms of the inbound, with Amai going for it.
Everson scoops that up because it was, and it has to go over the halfway line. That was desperation stuff, and Amai isn't going to get there, and there's the immediate turnover. That's the problem when you don't have any timeouts left.
Perhaps instead of Amai going high right from the word go, stay back a little bit, try and help out, and then take off high.
So the Dutch now with a chance to level things.
Here comes that New Zealand defence.
Make sure they don't have 4 in the key. They're going to try to push Everson in there. No, Van den Dop goes through. The Dutch take the lead for the first time in the match.
I think we're seeing some tiredness creep in now. I wonder if the New Zealand coaching staff maybe put Buckingham in, fresh arms, etc.
Everson in for the corner inbounds.
He's gone
Clever
for the
bunt.
pump.
Nice move. Nice move all round through all 4 sets of hands.
And look, the New Zealand spectators very happy with that. A number of family in the audience. We had shout out to John Simpson, Ian Simpson's father, Ian Simpson, one of the New Zealand .5s, up from Fairley to support his son. Great to see young John here. So the Kiwis are really settling into their work here. Don't reach, nobody reach. No need for a reach. 10 seconds.
10 seconds in the key, says Tasmin, the referee, Tasmin Haynes, and that is a turnover. So it's 10 in the key from one of the Dutch players, and so the turnover has been got back. But HBC needs to get this over the halfway line.
2 highs are low.
Forced to try to throw that one out to Maya, and Hector Loma was lurking. And there, Davy van den Dop says what Grant Sharman has been saying for about half an hour. Let's all calm down.
Yes, and that you need that on-court leadership. Someone with the New Zealand team needs to step up, start talking communication. Leslie was pinned down there. Perhaps he should have called inbounder.
That coulda, shoulda been the turnover that the Wheel Blacks needed. Who is the on-court leader of the 4 here?
I believe it's a joint captaincy between, I think, Leslie and Everson. It might be Rolton, perhaps. But it doesn't matter who it is.
Of the 4 on court at the moment, who's the one who's going to be talking? Who's going to be telling them?
I always think the low pointer, you know, they're little yappy little people. Keep the chatter up, keep the high pointers on task. But it's hard. They're tired. They played the whole game. They've been down here a long time. They've had camp before. That's no excuse. This is their final.
Yes, you can be as tired as you like in around 10 minutes' time. Just leave it all out there. 5.5 minutes to go. HBC is going to give everybody a breather, except himself.
So now it's very... now the coach is wondering, do I bring fresh wheels on with Buckingham? Do I leave HBC out there? It's a very difficult time for a coach, because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Well, the coach sitting alongside me, I think, has been calling for Buckingham to come on for a little while. They need to be in those boxes, though. Any substitutes coming on need to be placed in the boxes by their coaches beforehand. So you need to announce that you're going to make substitutes, and it looks like neither bench is doing that at the moment.
No, I think these lineups are going to go right to the end somehow. I'm not sure either coach really wants to change.
Leslie showing his great function there, almost leaping up in his chair to get out of a pick.
And when they execute, it works beautifully. So you've got to come back to what is that process.
Van den Dop now with the work to be done. Leslie trying to keep an eye on him, as is Armai. Oh, almost got a hand in there, did HBC. Van der Laan trying to milk it there as far as Tasmin Haynes was concerned, but she's seen it all before.
So we're trading tries here. It's tough for the New Zealanders because the Dutch they've called their first coach's timeout. So let's see what wisdom the Dutch coach is going to impart.
Well, the good thing is that the Wheel Blacks get a breather as well. And they can obviously go over, when it's a coach's timeout, they can go over and talk amongst themselves. And you can see there Robbie Hewitt is the one talking at the moment.
So we watched the Dutch coach, he's very animated. He will have worked out that in terms of if we're at the scenario, we're all tied up, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes to go, how do we want to play it? Are we going to key up, are we going to press them? Do we think they're right for it? Have we got the energy? He will have weighed that up. He'll talk with the senior players. They'll have a strategy. New Zealand, the same thing. They must have known this game was going to come down to one try either way. So they need to know, and they must know that they're tired. They would have known that they're going with pretty much the same lineup. What do they do if things don't quite work out?
You could see that it was Robbie Hewitt and Gavin Rolton who were doing the talking there, not Jan Roux, who is the official coach of New Zealand. It was more player coaching going on there. The leadership committee.
I'm not a big fan of that. It's hard enough being either a player or a coach. To try and do both roles is just asking an awful lot. Great pressure, great pressure.
They're trying to push him back over the line there, and Van Eersel was never going to have the function to be able to get forward. Hands it off to Van den Dop.
Lovely little pass over the top. But the New Zealanders are making the Dutch work hard for each try. And that's what they've got to do. Nearly half of the quarter gone.
Loma staying with Leslie all the way.
Great
Leslie
pace.
Does it himself. Everson, a great pick.
Scores locked up again. This could go either way. One mistake, one error, one lack of judgment or concentration. That's all it takes.
40 apiece. 4 minutes to go. Halfway through the fourth quarter. He's hemmed in.
Now they need to swarm the low pointer. Oh, there's that man again. Mr. Get Out of Jail card. Can't overemphasize how valuable that role is.
It is when it's played well, and Hector Loma is an excellent 1.5. I wouldn't quite put him in the same category as Cedric Nankin, the Frenchman, but he's not far off. Cedric Nankin, you'll see him at the Paralympics, playing at home for the French.
And I think we need to look here. I mean, the Dutch are tired too. They've been away for a couple of weeks. They said in the pre-game interview, mentally they're tired. They've had to work for this. They've really had to work and draw deep. They're tired too. And so someone's going to make a mistake.
Van der Laan having to bounce the ball every 10 seconds, which he does. Shot clock, he's counting down. Van den Dop goes this way and that into single figures. There's the turnover that the Kiwis needed.
Could this be the mistake? The Dutch were a little tired. There's a bit of talk on court now. You should do this, you should do that. But what we need to do now, so the substitution coming with the New Zealanders now need to go right. We're inbounding from the quarter. Job 1, get the ball in. Job 2, progress it over halfway. Job 3, set up for the try. There is no panic. Here we go. Coots needs to follow his low point around.
So the change there for the Dutch, Ben Bazoun coming on for Hugo van Iersel. A couple of one-pointers. Van den Dop gets back in time to stop Amai.
And 20 seconds on the shot clock. It's a lifetime. It's given the Dutch a chance to key up. Doesn't matter. Coots in a brilliant position. Lovely work. Now, the transition, very quick transition. The Kiwis have pinned the 3 on the baseline. They'll keep them there. They'll force the ball to weaker hands.
42-41, New Zealand are back in the lead. Bazoun not with a function, but he's got some good blocking. It's Van der Laan.
It's interesting, with that trap down there, I would have preferred to see Everson stay on Benzar and then Amaya with the speed go up, rather than Everson break. There we go, ball's inbound. Maya's following her pick up beautifully. Oh, that is superb play by Everson, and good vision, off to the better hands, straight away. This is great work by the Kiwis.
Take your time, give everyone a breather, get everyone set up on defence for the transition.
And we're getting into clock management time, people.
Barton Coots has got to be let back in, I would have thought, because he's out of bounds.
So they've called their bench. Oh, they've called a floor timeout, I think, the Dutch have.
Well, that gives New Zealand a breather.
Yeah.
Less than 2 minutes to go. They have a 1-point lead. So if they score last, unless something crazy happens in the next minute and 55 seconds, if the Kiwis score last, they've won.
Young Robbie Hewitt, a great servant of the game, takes a lot of roles on, very passionate. New Zealand Watch Rugby, very lucky to have him. He's barking his orders out. He's telling Everson, I want you to do this. They just need composure now and execute the process. I mean, I bang on about this, but that's what it's all about.
Said earlier, Grant's going to come down to the last 8 minutes, and you mistakenly said down to the last 8 seconds. It might come down to the last 8 seconds.
Keep that pressure on, keep that pressure on. Oh, great hit.
Over the top, Maya's going to slow him down.
Now, if they can force him back and then do key up, so... Oh. There's a few panic plays here. Everson racing back to fill the key. Oh, great. What's the call? Wait for it, wait for it. I think he said over and back. Over and back.
He's called for an equipment timeout. So, what happened there?
So I think what happened, so Everson was held back, come racing down, just made a beeline for number 8, hit him just at the right time, caused the over and back, caused him to go to one side, and that's caused a turnover. 1:25 on the clock. Again, God, I sound like a broken record. Get the ball in.
So the over and back. So the number 8 there, Van der Laan, had one wheel over the line and then was pulled back into play,
yep.
And that is an offence. So that is a turnover, a huge turnover. Oh, that looked like a reach.
So again, don't panic.
It's over the halfway line. Hold on to it, Cody.
Now again, don't panic. Right, set up, look at the bench. What do they want them to do? Plenty of time. Maybe double the high pointer, the number 14. So he can't defend.
If they score here, it's a 2-point lead with a minute to go. It's New Zealand's to lose now.
Well, it's still a long time in wheelchair rugby. Again, let's up that communication. The Kiwis have got the momentum. They've wrestled it off the Dutch.
The Dutch still have a floor timeout if they need to take it. The clock starts as soon as it's touched, and it's a quick try. It's exactly what they wanted to do.
What our athletes need to do there is be on the high side of the athlete, so they can't take off. Again, it's all about awareness, chair awareness, player awareness. That'll be a spin. That'll be a spin, and that's probably the game changer.
If this is a spinning foul, then it means that Davy van den Dop, the 3-pointer, is being sent to the sin bin. He hit her behind the axle.
And what wonderful sportsmanship. He's gone over, are you okay? I didn't mean it, shake of the hands. That's tremendous sportsmanship. Well done, Rendop.
He's trying to get out of,
Yeah.
saying, and they're just going to stay out on the court. And,
I think he's just going, you know, I made a blue, bit of a brain explosion. Are you okay? Little apology to the crowd. He knows half of Maya's family are in there. He doesn't want to take them on as well. So here we go, 46 seconds, up by 1. Get the ball in safe. Nobody panic.
So 8.5 is currently playing 5 out on court in terms of classification.
So they must score this try to give them the 2-goal buffer. They can't afford to let the Dutch come in. No, wind it down. Right, 24 seconds. Up by 2, what's the plan here?
Van den Dop comes out. He's out of the bin. The clock starts now. They need to score quickly and get an immediate turnover. They're not scoring quickly enough. This is good swarming defence from the Wheel Blacks. The ball's going loose. It's in Wheel Black hands.
That's the ball game.
And that is
That's the ball game.
Hayden Barton-Coots is going to cruise over the line.
0.9 of a second to go.
46-43.
Oh, the crowd's going wild. They just love it.
And that is it. Well, what a breathless last minute. New Zealand steal it. They were level for most of the third quarter and they pull clear in the last 2 minutes to seal 5th place, 46-43. What a performance.
And look, really want to compliment the Wheel Blacks on their ability to have that mental toughness. Absolutely superb there. They're lining up, they're having a wee chat.
Well, we have our colleague Jai Waite down there who's going to be talking to them in a while, but they all need to get their breath back, and I think we need to get our breath back. That was quite some turnaround considering they lost to the Dutch 44-36 just 4 days ago. They had the benefit of Maya Marshall-Amai being reclassified, and then, well, they ran that line up for the full 32 minutes. They're running on fumes towards the end, but they didn't lose their focus in those last 2 minutes. They were absolutely hectic, but they came out of it on top.
And isn't that the game in terms of you just never give up? This side, this New Zealand side, they did not have a good start to the tournament. They'll be the first to admit that. That yes, they got the classification change, but I think they also got a change in their mental attitude and their approach, and they were never losing this game. Well, I say that, it got a bit hairy, but they really came out, they showed incredible character, and I think that's great for the team. The staff are happy. Look, everyone's happy when you win your last game of the tournament, no matter what it is.
Okay, so it's not actually, it is one of the players who's going to come over, and it's one of the players that has played for all 32 minutes there. Cody Everson is talking to Jai Waite.
Cody, great way to finish the tournament.
Yeah, it's a great way to finish the tournament, you know, losing to them from the start, and it's just really cool to see how much the team's growing. And despite missing out on Paralympics, we wanted to come out and earn a bit of respect, and I think we did that today.
Guaranteed you did. And plans from here?
Plans from here? Well, straight after this, I want to go see my kid and my family and get home, but, you know, keep working. The Wheel Blacks are going to keep working and get better.
Go well, mate. Good luck. Thanks.
I think keep working and get better.
Well, I think how appropriate that interview to Cody, because it was Cody's speed down the court, caused that turnover. That was a game change. He's a terrific one-pointer. very, very appropriate that he did it. And we'll hope to hear from one of the Dutch stars.
Jai Waite has called over the other number 14, the one from the Netherlands, Davy van den Dop.
Davey, great game, tough game.
Yeah, we're very tough. They were good. We both went all out, but they just pulled in the end the better game. So yeah, but it was nice. It was very fun.
It's exciting to see. There's not much between teams, probably 7 through 12, right?
Yeah, it is, and I'm happy that we get closer because let's say 2 years ago we would have lost like 20 to 30 points. We're making progress, so I'm excited to see it at Euros next year. So yeah, I'm happy with the team, with the progress, and this was a freaking nice tournament to play at.
Well, thanks, man, and thanks for coming over.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
They are indeed making a lot of progress.
And if we see now the crowd performing a haka to the team, this is very New Zealand, very cultural. It's a sign of respect. It's a wonderful thing to have happen to you, and I think it's very appropriate for this team. Oh, it's brought a tear to my eyes. That is outstanding. It's
the Dutch turning around and watching and applauding. Wonderful.
And I think, the tournament's played in such great spirit. Even the Australians on the side are applauding. This has been really good for New Zealand. Yes, they'll be gutted. They're not going to Paris, but they've come away. They've developed throughout the tournament. Now they're going to go back to the planning stage. Where to from here? Well, a couple of cold beers to start with and then a bit of a conversation.
Hopefully we'll see them over at the Australian Championships where they play every year. That's just 6 weeks away, and I'm certainly looking forward to that one. So the results that we've had so far today: Colombia defeating Switzerland 57-44 to finish 7th. And then the huge match of the day, Germany 62, Brazil 50. So Germany finished 3rd and make it through to the Paralympics. New Zealand, as we've just seen, 46-43, the tightest match of the tournament thus far. And that means that they finish 5th, and then at 6:30 in just 1 hour's time, Australia will take on Canada to see who finishes first.
Drew, I just want to say thank you. It's been a privilege to sit beside you and enjoy these games. I wish you well in the future. And I think a big shout out to Jai Waite and his team and the camera people that have put on some fantastic coverage. It's what the sports needs, and it just shows how it's growing. So well done, Wheelchair Rugby, and well done, everyone.
Thank you, Grant, and well done, the Wheel Blacks. They finish 5th overall, and join us back in 1 hour's time for the final, Australia versus Canada.